Hello and welcome to yet another episode from NASA Bitcoin. Today, the Bitcoin price. It's a roller coaster of a ride. It's 11,000, it's 10,000, it's 11,000, it's 10,000, it's 12,000, it's 9,000. Who gives a rat's ass? Nobody cares. Completely manipulated until December. From now to December 2021, we've got about 15 months. 15 months. Hang on to your Bitcoin between now and December 31st, 2021. Within that period, because of the stock to flow ratio, another way to think of stock and flow, another way to word that would be supply and demand. So, ooh, it's a beautiful place. Beautiful. Beautiful place. So supply and demand, right? It's another way to word the stock to flow ratio of Bitcoin. Too many companies buying it, too many private people and institutions buying it and holding it in hard wallets, which means nobody can get to it. If you do the simple math with Bitcoin and realize, I think it's 88% now have already been mined of all the Bitcoins, 88%. Most of which has been put away and unmoved in wallets. People are using it, speculating. They're actually using it to buy things here and there. But so they're speculating that will be our future of default value, a kind of a barometer of the truth in money, meaning like gold, except far superior to gold. Bitcoin is better at being gold than is gold itself. Why? Well, because there's a finite supply. Because demand is rising for Bitcoin month after month, year after year. And because we're living in the information age, and in the information age where people can find the truth if they want to find it online, they want to find it. There's a lot of fake news. Sure there is a lot of fake news. But go ahead and do your own research. From what I've found, Bitcoin is very real. They wanted to kill it. They attempted to do so in 2012, I think it was, where they tried to put out a bunch of ASIC computers that would mine Bitcoin. They tried to put a flaw in it to hurt the ecosystem of Bitcoin. They failed. It failed. They just orphaned some blocks. There's a new block once every 10 minutes. And it moves on and it grows. So the way to essentially judge whether Bitcoin, the health of the ecosystem, whether it's healthy or not, would be in the hashing rate. And what that means is the speed in which all the computers looking for the next answer, the speed in which they are operating, the faster that the computers are mining Bitcoin. The computer, you need a very fast hash rate in a computer to attempt to find the right nonce, the next answer, and there's one every 10 minutes. That is how, from where you can depict Bitcoin's health. What does that mean? The higher the hash rate represents more computers searching for the answer. The slower the hash rate, the fewer computers there are looking for the nonce, which is that answer every 10 minutes. Once every 2 weeks, there's something called an algorithmic adjustment where the code of Bitcoin has something built into the code where once every 2 weeks, it can find the answer, and it knows if there are fewer computers or more computers searching for the answer, searching for the blocks. This happens once every 2 weeks. And it's an adjustment. It's one of the breakthroughs that makes Bitcoin so special. So you've got a money here that obviously many people, and I would say I would put these people who believe in the future of Bitcoin as more intelligent people, if we're all things being equal, not trying to be rude. But it seems like the world's more intelligent people understand what's happening, and they understand that this thing has a very real chance of becoming our default storage of value in the future. Why? Well, for one, there's no other road. There's nothing pointing in the direction like Bitcoin is saying this can sweep up the mess that is the legacy, the old banking system. Because the old banking system is in shambles, it's in big trouble. Why is it in big trouble? The banking system's in big trouble because people run it. People. Now that's different than Bitcoin. You say, how could it be? People run Bitcoin too? No. It's decentralized, so there's not just a group of men who are very powerful that decide the interest rate of Bitcoin, and they can't decide how much of it is issued and when it's issued. So because there are fewer and fewer Bitcoins available for sale, that makes it a deflationary currency. The opposite of a deflationary currency is an inflationary currency, like the US dollar. It's inflationary. As many as you want to print, you can print into infinity forever. 你永远可以一直把那个钱印出来了, right? And so because you can always just print that money, that's going to make it weaker and weaker and weaker over time. So your 10 US dollars will buy fewer and fewer things. It becomes weaker, whereas a deflationary currency, not inflationary, a deflationary currency like Bitcoin. Deflationary currency means there are fewer and fewer units. And as these units are being mined, they're being found and available to buy, more and more people, more and more companies, more and more large institutions, more and more city-states, more and more governments, and more countries are competing to buy more, right? So you have to do the math. And then you would say, well, if this all were so, looks like if this all were so, then why wouldn't the price of one Bitcoin be $1 million now? It's a great question. I'm glad you asked. It's a wonderful question. Let me answer it. There's a lot to unpack there. So when you're thinking about Bitcoin, you gotta understand. Look, there's a lot to unpack here. That's a great question. That sounds like every fucking economic show I listen to. Look, there's a lot to unpack here. That's a great question. At the end of the day, it's the beginning of the night. At the end of the day, it's the beginning of the night. Oh, very danger. Oh, I almost died again. But here I am alive, and welcome to Wolfman Börse and Maza Bitcoin. So back to point. What is the 重点到底是什么? The 重点是, as Bitcoin becomes more desirable, there are fewer and fewer that are available for sale. It is not easy to buy a lot of Bitcoin. Large institutions that buy Bitcoin, right? They buy them from private parties. They buy them OTC, over the counter. So when companies like Grayscale and Fidelity Insurance, BlackRock and others, some of the largest institutions in the world, when they're buying Bitcoin, it does not affect the price. And the reason why it does not affect Bitcoin's price, because the only thing they derive Bitcoin's price, the way we get Bitcoin's current price, is through the exchanges, which are just Bitcoin banks. So as just people are exchanging some Bitcoin from one to the other, right? That's the price that they keep it at. They keep it at about $10,000. Why? They keep it at roughly $10,000, $12,000, $9,000 because it's expensive for the common man to buy one Bitcoin. Most people don't have an extra $10,000 or 11 to spend on a Bitcoin. Now that's good for them. That's what they want. Why? Because if it stays around $10,000, it's too expensive typically for the common man, and it looks to everyone like Bitcoin's not becoming anything. It's not getting big. Why? Because the price is just staying at $10,000. Wrong. The price of Bitcoin does not in any way detect its health or future success. Again, that is determined through its hash rate and how many computers. As time passes, every year there's far more than the year before. More and more people, more and more states, more and more governments allocating assets, allocating electricity for this world-beating asset that has made more money, has profited more gains for people than anything else in human history. Yes, Bitcoin has. And it's an infant now, I would add. It's a baby now. When you're thinking about buying Bitcoin at $10,000 or whatnot, you're actually buying it at $500. Why? Because they've printed trillions of US dollars. And you're using US dollars to buy Bitcoin. I know it's confusing. And if anyone has any questions about what I'm talking about, they leave the price of Bitcoin around $10,000 to de-incentivize the layman from purchasing it. It also de-incentivizes large institutions and countries from mining it. So it's the perfect thing to do if you happen to be a Warburg, if you happen to be a Rockefeller, if you happen to be some of the banking elite. They have gotten together with the owners of the exchanges, most likely, and the whales in Bitcoin, and they can manipulate the price, right? Except that once every 4 years, that price must find its natural watermark. It must go up. And the reason why the price must go up every 4 years is because of something that they called the halvening. It means to cut in half. There's two ways people say it. It's not really a real word. It's just a word that's spun out of the Bitcoin ecosystem. One's called the halvening or the halfning, to be cut in half. So every 10 minutes, when one of those hundreds of millions of computers finds the nonce, its reward is cut in half once every 4 years. The reward for doing the work that each man and woman, and I don't want to leave out the LBGTQRSOPUV community, right? The people who put money into mining Bitcoin, right? The people who put a lot of money, millions and millions of dollars into these, why are they putting so much money into it? Because they know that this is going to be the future of money. While this is happening, you're watching in real time the destruction of the banking system. It's a real, to me, it's very obvious of what's taking place. And is there any chance at all? Is there any chance at all that I'm wrong? The answer to that is no. Essentially not. As funny as that sounds, because there's no other road to go. We will go down the Bitcoin road. Bitcoin will pop through $100,000 and then much higher over time. And the retail market, which means the masses, the sheeple, most people, will be vying for position to buy Bitcoins, to buy themselves a half a Bitcoin when the price hits, 70, 80,000 US dollars. Then everyone's rushing towards that same door because Bitcoin is something called a Gatling good. And the higher the price goes for one Bitcoin, the higher the price goes, the more desirable it becomes to cities and states and governments. Hello, sir. And governments alike, right? That's what you're looking at. It's the biggest no-brainer in human history. It really is. This price is being repressed in Bitcoin. A totally repressed price. One Bitcoin currently, in a macro view, if you understand what $1 trillion is and how many trillions of dollars they're printing, this means that really Bitcoin's natural price would be something in the vein of $1 million, right? But much more. But let's just say $1 million. Just say $1 million. Look at this stuff. Hot sauce. It's filled with chili, garlic, ginger, and turmeric. Whoop. There you go. That's a real ass blaster. It's a real ass blaster. Here we go. La 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 la. Let's walk over there. Should I lock up my bike now? Let's go here first. Let's see what's up here. And so those of you whom are not buying Bitcoin, are you going to wait till it starts to go to 100,000? You know who you are. Why not just dollar cost average? I mean, if people don't have money, that sucks. That's too bad. Wow, that's cool. Look at this thing. It's a little bike light. So this is an abandoned place. I love this place. I'm gonna run outside and go kick the bag in the soccer field and dance like a dancing queen. He was a dancing queen, young and somewhat clean, only 17. Ooh, whips, whoopsh, whoopsh, whoopsh. Friday nights and the lights are low. Looking for a sex place to go. Oh boy, you might see Wolfman Bruiser in the bar somewhere. Dung, dung, dung. You might do some docking later that night. So anywho, please, if you can dollar cost average, this video's getting rather long. Wow, it's 15 fucking minutes. Jesus, 16. Thank you for making it this far, everybody. I want to say I make these videos because I hope everyone's well and I want people to do well. And I know I sound like a domineering dick, but I can't help it. I just want to share this information. It's no different than when I told people to buy Bitcoin well under $1,000 US. It's 10,000 or 11,000 now. It's going to keep going up. So if you could take a little money every month and just put some into Bitcoin and just hold on to it for a couple years, you're going to be golden. All right. I'm out, motherfucker. Yo, G, shit, man. Oh, I was gonna do some ghetto rapping there. Yeah, out there. I'll be damned. You know, I've come to the conclusion that Cambodia is something like, it's like China and India mixed into one thick, huge, squirting 13.5-inch penis. Okay. Goodbye, Wolfman Bruiser. Tuk tuk. Oh, there's someone calling me. She wants love. Let's have a talk with her. There's some pink bicycles. Hi. How are you? See, what if I did that to someone in San Francisco and pointed my camera at them, to a woman, and said hi? She would fucking have me arrested. White socialist, Trump supporter, kill, 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 kill. Yeah, I know. It's sad, guys. Go down to Mexico for now. Just get out of the game. Get out of the borders before this election might be a good idea. I just think it is. I think it's a great idea. We don't want to live through this, you know? We don't want to have to deal with this. Hey, look at this field I have. It's all to myself. I'm gonna run around in this field. It's free. Looks like there's a dog out there waiting for me. I'm gonna kick the bag and I'm gonna be dancing around like Dancing Queen. Keeping one eye open for Wolf. There's my hacky sack shoes. They're so tired. Those were my shoes. I left Taipan, some people call it, or Formosa, January 9th, 2020. And that just seems like a fucking, it just seems like another world, man. Oh, back to my important shoes. Okay, everybody, try to get yourselves some Bitcoin. I'm gonna go kick the sack now. Time for some Sportlich with Wolfman Bruiser. We will talk tomorrow. Bye bye, tuk tuk.